Welcome to the Aviation Zone Podcast. Aviation Zone Podcast. With your host, Captain Felipe Santiago. Flying stories, career advice, and a lot of hangar talk. Let's talk aviation.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Aviation Zone Podcast. Today we have Garrett with us. He was an instructor here at our academy about a year and a half, 2 years ago. I feel like it's been forever. Actually, I don't. I feel like it was yesterday, but it feels like you've already gone through a lot. So, Garrett, welcome to the show. I wanted to bring you on because obviously you went through, we kind of saw you grow as a commercial pilot, then to CFI, you got your regionals, and now soon you're going to be flying with me at Spirit, which I'm really excited about. So I want to pick your brain, kind of what you started with your career, where you got to where you are today, and kind of share your advice or whatever you have for somebody that's looking to start doing this at some point in their life, and sharing that experience with them. So
cool.
Let's take it back all the way to flight training. So what got you into flying? I know you had some story with your uncle, I believe it was.
Yeah, I had a relative that he was an American captain for 30 plus years. And, aviation wasn't necessarily a path that I had in mind when I graduated high school, college, any of that. That was not even a thought. My parents own a restaurant and
great pizza, by the way.
Yeah, the Big Cheese. If you guys are looking for pizza in Miami.
Yeah, really good place. We used to send Garrett on his lunch. Hey, yeah. Garrett, go get us some pizza. And
Juan loves those Hawaiian pizzas. So I got started there out of college. It just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I was kind of doing the same stuff I was doing in high school. Anyways, I quickly got over that.
Where'd you go to school?
Florida State.
And you graduated from Florida State?
Yes.
And you got a degree in?
Hospitality.
Yeah,
okay. Hospitality management.
Okay, completely nothing to do with aviation.
At all. Yeah. Okay. So that was the path I was going to go to. I didn't want to do hotels. That was another route, but I did a couple internships. And it was not for me. So restaurant was my passion. I love to cook, so I enjoyed, bringing that experience to people. So that really stuck with me. But anyways, just with the restaurant and family and it just didn't work out, long story short. So I had a couple jobs in between. I was a mortgage broker, did that for a year and a half. That was okay. And then I went to Northwestern Mutual as a financial advisor. Mostly, doing insurance stuff and, getting people's portfolios together. Not ideal for my personality.
Office desk, right?
Office desk stuff, stuck, 9 to 5 pretty much. And I just was not happy with the way things were going. And so it was a couple Thanksgivings ago, obviously 5 or 6 years back. And I was talking to my uncle about this. I go, I had this plan, everything mapped out after college, what I was going to do, and none of it was going according to plan. I was like not doing anything. I wasn't happy at the job I was at. I didn't want to do the corporate ladder thing, and I just wasn't happy. And he said, well, you know what? Why don't you try aviation? There's a huge need for pilots. One of his best friends that he was working with, an American, he's a financial planner for a lot of pilots. And he was saying the need and, the trajectory of aviation in the industry and where it's going. And
it's getting worse.
And it's getting worse and worse. He's like, man, it is the best. And mind you, I was already 24, 25. I mean, still young, but at that age, you already see your friends, that were in those jobs right out of college start developing and, turning
everybody
their
starts
careers.
Buying houses.
Exactly, buying
families.
Houses, driving nice cars. And I'm like, I'm at my parents' house still. I'm switching jobs. I was like, this sucks.
Right.
So I had to really, dive deep and say, is this something I really want to do? Because this is not going to be an easy road. I'm going to be, doing flight training for some time, then I'm going to be a CFI, then I'm going to be a regional, and like those steps, while everyone's in their late 20s doing great, I'm going to be in those stepping stones that you did when you were 18 or 21 or wherever anyone starts.
And you still, you have a college degree, right? So that really puts you in a better position. Whether you think so or not, it's still, we saw it here. We see it here with the instructers. Like the guys having a degree, they're a little bit more mature. They already, this is not like their first job experience. You see kind of like those instructors that don't have they've been already had another job somewhere else, or they have a college degree, they're more mature. So it's kind of nice to see that. So that did help you, and it continues to help you today. And I'm sure at some point in your life, if you want to do that, what you were doing an office job.
Oh, absolutely.
You still have the opportunity.
No, I mean, you're a great role model for me because you do so much with your career. It's
really a part-time job.
Yeah, exactly. And I really thought like, wow, that is something. And that's one of the selling points that my uncle did. He said, because he used to own some nightclubs and restaurants in Texas. So he lived in Dallas. And he's like, yeah, man, you can still do everything you want to do, but it's a great foundation. He's like, listen, I did it for 30 years and I loved my job. Like, I had no complaints, Right. That's an American guy. So he must have really liked it. So, I mean, yeah, he got me excited about it. I'm like, okay, I'll try it out. I went and got my private license. I did that while I was still working, just trying to figure it out what I wanted to do.
And where'd you do your private?
I actually did it at PTC right down the road.
Okay, yeah, down the field as well.
Down the field, yeah. So, but my flight experience there was it was 61. And I mean, the instructor I had, he was a great flight instructor, but as far as ground, I mean, he kind of sent me to the wolves. I mean,
yeah, the 61 thing is, it really depends. It just really depends if you get lucky or not.
So yeah, I mean,
so you got your private.
So I got my private, and then
how much time did that take, more or less?
That took about 9 months, I would say, because I was doing it on weekends and stuff. Yeah, I was doing the 9 to 5 still. I didn't commit to it.
Right.
Yeah. So. It took a little longer than needed be, but I got it done. I fell in love with it, and I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go for this.
So you came to us with what? You came with us with a commercial, right?
With a commercial, yeah.
Multi.
No, I didn't have a CFI yet.
Right, you came to us with a commercial multi.
Yeah.
You didn't have your single.
Exactly, didn't have my single. So I went over to, you guys weren't even really. Like, you didn't have this facility.
We weren't on the scope.
Yeah, we weren't on the scope. So I didn't even know you guys existed, to be honest, back then. And I went to ADP, and I went to all the flight schools locally. I wasn't blown away by them. And then I went to Perry, and I went to Fort Lauderdale. Still was not sold. And then I went to a school, Epic Flight Academy, up in Daytona, but it would require me staying there. But it was a good thing because there's no distractions. I was flying twice a day in between lessons. I mean, I've finished everything in like 4 or 5 months.
That school is doing great, man. You should see how many brand new airplanes they have. I don't know how many.
Oh no, they crank them, man.
Like their Cessna's like shipping them straight to.
Yeah. They were struggling a little bit because they did a lot of international stuff with COVID.
I'm sure with
and everything.
COVID they got a little bit of a backlog.
But it was a machine, man. I think that place is a machine. But it did great. I mean, but they were very good. Like, I mean, with ADP, when I went to go get quotes and all the stuff, they didn't really explain to me, like, Epic was kind of like Aviator. Well, they'll work with you. Okay, let's see what you have. Okay, you can cut a corner here, you can cut a corner there, depending on what you want to do, and so they made it work for me. And
yeah, it wasn't like, I feel more like ATP is set up for somebody that has zero. And
it's like our way or the highway, and that's it. Yeah, it's the way it goes.
Or somebody that has zero experience, nothing, and they just show up and kind of go through there, and it's expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
Although Epic is not cheap either.
No, Epic's not cheap, but you definitely, I mean, I got all my ratings right at minimums, so right. I no complaints.
That's the pilot skills.
Yeah, well, but it was good. I mean, very, very good instructors. I had a great experience there. No distractions, and then I came down here, and Rick introduced us, and I was like, best thing that happened, honestly.
I remember when Garrett came.
Oh yeah, you were.
He wanted to get a 130. He wanted to get a 91, kind of like a 91K job. It's like flying a jet. And Garrett's taxiing down the center line with brakes left, right, and I'm like, Garrett, I'm gonna spill my coffee. It's like, you can't do this with passengers.
No, flying with you was a lot of fun. I know. It was a good time.
Yeah, it was fun.
And we saw that guy crash and run off the runway.
Oh my God, you remember that day? So remember, we're in the pattern. And this, I'm like, man, this guy's all over the place in the pattern. Remember, he wasn't turning base, and he was going up and down and left and right. I'm like, who the hell's flying the plane? Yeah. Turns final. We're turning base. Finally, we're coming on final, and I'm looking, and I'm like, that guy's not moving.
He's not moving.
And then the next thing you know, we're going around. He's not moving. And next thing we know, we see the guy running away from the plane. I think they caught him like in a bush or something.
I know.
I think the story behind it was like some student pilot with a passenger on the airplane.
Yeah, not good stuff.
So not good, but that was a funny moment.
Funny.
So you got your CFI and then you started working with us and you stayed here. How long? You were probably here for what, like a year
and a half, I would say. Yeah, it took me about a year and a half to get 1,500. But yeah, no, I mean, absolutely. I even tell not just because I worked here, but anyone who's, trying to get into aviation, I always send them here. And that's not because I worked here again.
No, I mean,
if I came here, if I saw this school prior to seeing Epic, I mean, I would have done all my ratings here.
Yeah, well, you're close here too, so it makes it easier as well. And, the price is a big difference as
Absolutely.
well. We kind of have both options here, but it is what it is. So you went to... You got your CFI, and then you left us at 1,500 hours, and then you went to where?
I went to GoJet.
GoJet, okay.
Yeah, so I got typed in a CRJ. I flew for, the United Express aircraft up in Newark.
How many hours did you fly for them?
I flew nothing, absolutely nothing. It was kind of an interesting time because, there was such a demand after COVID with the aviation, so all the captains that they had just got evaporated in overnight. So they had all this backlog of students that needed check airmen. They had to get check airmen checked because all the check airmen left, So it was just they were going through a lot of struggles and they couldn't keep captains in the seats. So, I didn't even get my OE done the first time around. I got the 120 days.
I had to go back to the
reconsolidate.
sim.
I had to go back to the sim, basically take another check ride. Then on OE, I finished my OE. They gave me a relief line, thank God. But I mean, that airline, United, was getting so upset with them because they were canceling flights left and right because they had no one to fly them. And my seniority, I mean, my seniority would go up, but then the flights would go up because I was trying to chase where the line was. When I started there out of Newark, we had, I think, like 92 lines, and when I left, it was down to 36.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was trying to definitely. I mean, I wasn't in GoJet, obviously to make a career, and I was trying to get out of there as soon as possible.
Yeah, I remember I always tell you guys, go in there and fly your butts off. It's very easy to get comfortable once you leave here, right? You guys are working here a lot, so you leave here and then you get to the airlines.
Yeah.
And you work, 70 hours a month and 90 hours a month if you work hard. And it's really easy to get comfortable and lay back and not actually go out and fly. But then all that does is just drags your career out because
Absolutely.
then you can't go get a job at, American, Delta, Spirit, wherever you want to be, right?
Yeah.
So.
But there wasn't an opportunity.
Yeah, you didn't have a chance.
Frustrating. Yeah.
Not that you're complaining because I saw you skiing a lot, but.
Yeah, I mean, life was good. I mean, I was definitely enjoying my time off. I mean, the flight benefits were awesome. I was traveling all the time, and no complaints on that.
How were your crews? I always, every time I jump seat on GoJets, they're always super nice. Everybody's everybody's happy.
Everyone's happy. I mean, there's always the 1%ers, but.
Yeah, we have that everywhere.
Yeah, that's everywhere, right? But I mean, for the most part, all the captains were very professional, very easy to get along with. And I had no complaints. I mean, I think.
How about the overnights? Were the overnights good? Would you guys?
Nah, they were boring. Pretty boring overnights. Yeah.
Northwest Arkansas.
Yeah, and some of the captains that were there were guys that were there for like 20 plus years, so they were just like not really,
looking to go out,
go have fun. Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm trying to slam drink, and then there's one flight attendant because it's 50 passengers, so. It was just like kind of a boring, time. But
it's funny because for me, my regional experience was the most exciting. Like now at, flying with Spirit, my overnights are, I have some good overnights with good crews, but it's not like it was at, Republic. At Republic, it was 2 pilots, 2 flight attendants, and we would all stay together for the entire trip.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see now in Spirit, we split the flight attendants and the pilots are, separate. So it wasn't the same. We would be flying the entire 4-day with the same crew. We're like, hey, what are we going to do tonight? Where are we going to go here? And everybody was together. Everybody was more of a crew. But I had a really good time, and everybody was young too, right? So now everybody's more mature. They got family, kids. Oh, I got to FaceTime the wife. I got to FaceTime the, whatever.
Well, Spirit, I mean, now I think it's getting younger and younger because everyone that was in my class was, in their 20s. I think the oldest guy was like 30,
Yeah.
So
I still feel like our pilot group is not old, but I would say like mid-range, like I would say 30, 40 is like our pilot group.
But everyone's been super. I mean, that was one of the things that drew me to Spirit as well, is because, while I was jump seating all the time, with GoJet, I would talk to the crews and, talk people's ear off because I just wanted to know what it was like. And the Spirit pilots were, like none of them complained. They were all, even the flight attendants were super, super, super happy with where they were. They didn't even want to do the merger. They're like, we just like it the way it is. Yeah,
that's an interesting one. I prefer, I'm not sure what you've heard around, but for me, I prefer to stay at Spirit, but it is what it is. You're going to get a big pay raise maybe.
Yeah, maybe. I can't even vote. I'm still on probation, I think. So.
Yeah, I've been hearing mixed things about the pilot group, but
yeah,
I think everybody talks, and then eventually they'll go and they'll ratify a contract.
Yeah, I don't think that, I don't think anything negative is going to come out of the JetBlue thing. I think it's only going to be good, bigger airplane, we're going to have more leverage, in the end. But I
think some people are going to be, we don't know, right? Because some people are going to lose seniority. There's going to be bases that are going to be moving and relocation and displacements, and that can be very confusing. We just closed a base in Chicago, and just seeing, like, I obviously nothing to do with us because we were Fort Lauderdale base, right? Fort Lauderdale, Miami, but seeing that displacement going around and redoing it and changing it, I'm like, oh man, I can't imagine what it's going to be like when you got to
when you're established like that, it can be pretty.
You can be living here and then now you're based in Orlando, right? So
that wouldn't be fun.
I don't think that's going to happen to us, but there's still a lot of, JetBlue doesn't have a Fort Lauderdale base as far as I know.
Oh yeah,
they do.
Well, they're very. They fly a lot out of Fort Lauderdale.
I think they fly a lot of it. They might have a flight attendant base, but I don't think they know. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I'm not entirely sure either.
But I think that they don't have a base, and that can be an exciting thing. But again, I think it'll be better. We're gonna have more airplanes. We're gonna be a bigger airline.
Yeah.
I prefer our product, even though a lot of people don't like our product. When I fly off my time off, I go on Spirit anyway. So
yeah, it's not. I like it. I've flown Spirit a couple times, and yeah, I've never had a negative experience. Really. Weather's weather. That's on every airline.
The weather's bumpy.
Yeah, exactly. I think Spirit gets like thrown under the carpet because, whether this, whether that. Oh, of course Spirit's can. I'm like, well, if everyone else is too. It's not.
It's funny. You look at for the most part, and I think we've gotten even better at this with weather cancellations. Like we're able to, catch up a lot faster now than we used to.
Yeah.
I remember when we used to have these meltdowns that were pretty bad, but
it was growing pains, really. I would
growing pains. I remember when I first got hired at Spirit, I was in Denver.
Yeah.
And we were about to push back, but we don't have no paperwork.
Ugh.
So we called dispatch. We're like, hey, what's going on? We can't get paperwork. It's like, well, our machines are down.
Oh, boy.
We need to restart the servers because the servers couldn't hold the amount of releases that we were releasing at this time. Yeah. So we were like, it was like running an airline on a laptop, like, and they're trying to make so many releases that they couldn't. The machine's like, that's it. I got to restart. Like And I remember sitting there and I'm looking at the check airman. I'm like, is it always like this here?
Yeah. He's like, yeah.
But never had that problem anymore, like it's been great now. Like,
yeah, no, and the iPads are great. Like, and I tell you what,
you didn't have iPads on your other.
We did, but they weren't as.
You were using the Windows ones.
No, they were the Apple ones, but I guess they just weren't utilized. Like we didn't have such good apps. Like we had only. We have that Flight Pro. What is it called? The JEP charts with the moving taxi thing.
I remember when
I had the leader charts, right? Yes. And I was like, can you review this with me? And you're like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. And I'm like, yeah, dude.
What the hell is this? I've never heard about
those. It was so different, yeah. And so I think the training, like they really, it was quick. I had, there's no complaints. It was just bang,
it was
bang,
hard,
bang.
though.
No, I thought it was a lot more transparent. Of course, coming from a jet, and everything's new. But if ATP guys can make it, no problem. That speaks for itself, right?
Well, I mean, it's tough compared to like other airlines, like Spirit training. You get very short sim. So if you don't prepare yourself and you show up there and you're not knowing your flows,
but they tell you exactly. They give you the releases. Like it wasn't in
GoJet.
GoJet.
Listen.
Yeah, well, in GoJet, like people, like we'd show up and they're like, "This is what we're doing today." You know, it was like, "Oh, okay." Like you learn what you're doing today in the brief. Like it was just like Sim 10, like Sim 1, Sim 2. We had those 10 sims, and yeah, I mean, I felt but plus the Airbus is like. I mean,
how do you like the table?
I think Alejandro can fly it. It is like, thank God I'm in this plane. It's amazing.
And once you become a captain, it becomes voice activated.
Yeah, exactly.
Start engine one, and it starts.
Yeah,
no, I love the airplane. It's funny because my friend has a 737 simulator at home.
Mm-hmm.
Like he loves the 7.3, and he has like the controls and the panels, the throttle quadrant, everything. So I go to his house to mess around with it, and he's like, okay, go sit in. And I'm like trying to sit in the thing, and I'm like moving the yoke out of the way. I couldn't fit in there. So I finally sit in there, and I'm like, wow, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah, I know.
And I don't know if it happened to you too, but when I went from the Embraer, right? Mm-hmm. Well, you had a yoke too. So
I had a yoke, yeah.
I went from the Embraer, right, with a bicycle grip, and going into the Airbus and flying the Airbus and having nothing in front of you just felt like something was missing. Like I was
yeah, that too.
I was like, what's the space here? Like it just feels like there's something missing on the airplane.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get used to it, you just can't go back.
Yeah, and then also it's got like that auto trim, which I've heard that the 7.3s they like they feel more traditional, like the aircraft, like you have to hold the bank. Here you just let go and it stays there. So once you get like the concepts down, I mean the plane is top notch.
Yeah, or you start making butter when you first get in the sim.
Yeah,
how was that? How was your first sim? Tell me about
the first. Well, because I did at the when I did ATP training at GoJet, a lot of my sims were actually in an Airbus cockpit. At the Spirit facility in Dallas, actually.
Oh, so you were at AFG in Dallas.
Yeah. There was a bunch of Spirit guys walking around, so I was assuming that was the training where they did it. And then, so I had a little bit of experience with it, and the guy would talk because I'm sure I was churning the butter over there, and he had me like take my hand from the top and put it on the bottom, so that's where I fly it from now, and so it helps with the over controlling and everything. But
I can't fly from the bottom. I fly with the top, but 2 fingers.
But but you get the concept. I definitely was. I think the taxiing was the most nauseating for my partner and the guy in the back and the sim rocking around like, I'll get it soon. Don't worry. But other than that, I thought it was I mean by Sim 5 we were fine. I mean we were good. And my sim partner, he was actually an ATP guy, 1500 on the dot.
So you flew with an ATP guy?
I flew with an ATP guy, and he was very sharp. He had no problems at all as well. So I mean, we're both on board.
I can I haven't flown with them. I have seen a few guys that with 1500 hour guys. I think here's my thought of that: 1500 hours flying around a 172 doesn't it makes you a good pilot. It prepares you it doesn't really prepare you for the airlines, like the regionals is different, but I think there is benefit in going from a regional to Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Just because, now when you go into Chicago, it's not your first time going into Chicago.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like my third.
Well, in your case, right?
Yeah.
But, where were you based? You were based in
Newark.
In Newark. So how many times have you been to Newark?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to Newark, and you're going on Newark now in Spirit, you're not going to be like,
no,
I have to call who?
No, I understand that.
So you have that benefit of, that the cadence. The cadence of going in the airline, going in and getting in there, go do the walk around, set the box, get ready, brief, push back, and go, You don't do it in a Cessna, right?
Yeah. You're not talking to dispatch. You're not talking to. You have no experience with the box. So I think that's the biggest thing, right? Is the box. That was like the biggest learning curve, because it was very similar to. I mean, there's some differences, but I mean, I got around. I mean, on my first OE trip, I was fast at it, quick.
Yeah, it's everybody's. it's like a chicken, pecking with the thing.
Exactly.
It's
The
like,
only thing, I mean, how smart the aircraft is, you can't grab, which is like the most.
There's some things you can grab, but not everything you can grab.
Yeah, but it's a little time consuming. But other than that, I mean,
I'm ready for like the digital radio. Like I missed that from the. You used to put like if you got like 126.5, you put 265 enter, and it would like
say comply. Good.
And it would like automatically enter it. Here you have to like.
Oh no, I thought you were talking about the. So like when you're flying over and they're handing you off. I've been in a couple Airbuses where they have, I forget what it's called, but it's like
CPDLC.
Yeah, CPDLC.
We have that now.
Yeah, well, in some of but they're not active yet.
They just sent us an email that they're going to start activating that on some.
Yeah. So then we're really lazy. We don't have to talk to anyone. Just comply. Okay, good. Yeah, we'll do this. Yep. Via. Gotcha.
Yep. Aye.
Yeah.
No, I like it because you probably haven't done a waters route yet. Have you done a waters route?
Mm-mm.
So we do like a flight from Newark to San Juan.
Mm-hmm.
You're over water, single HF. So you're using HF instead of BHF.
Okay.
And, you'll read about it when you go on one of those flights. You don't have to listen to ATC. So you use cell call.
Okay.
Did you ever use cell call? Did you have cell call in your other company?
I mean,
You don't remember?
I don't remember.
So they'll call us via cell call. So it just literally the airplane rings like, and then you just select the radio and you talk to a controller.
Got it.
And then once you're done, you just stop hearing it again because HF is like shh the entire time. So I love those flights because you only have to listen to the radio when the controller calls you. Other than that, you just hang out, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm sure that's kind of going to be like CPDLC. It's just like, ATC message. Let's see what the hell's going on.
Yeah. No, I saw the JetBlue guys do it. I'm like, what? I'm like, they're not talking to anyone. I'm like, what is that box there? They're like, oh yeah, no, this is like all we have to do. I'm like, that's pretty nice. He's like, yeah. It's
Does
nice.
it? I don't remember. I have to look over the training again because we did the training a while back, and then I don't know. It's probably waiting on the FAA to approve it, and then.
But they're doing a lot of stuff. I mean, they got that new. So while I was in training, we got a new checklist. Mm-hmm. We got that new landing distance calculation thing. So there's a couple things that they're like training us, then untraining us, and like, oh, this is actually how we're gonna do it now. Like, so the checklist moved around a little bit. So
that checklist still gets me today. It's like the what is it called? Cockpit preparation checklist.
Yeah. So we came into the only thing. I tell you what, this is the funny thing. So when I came into Spirit, like the 3 days before I went into first day training, the guy emailed us, oh, this is what you need to like have prepared. But 3 days before, it was like, he's like, know all your flows, know all this stuff. I'm like, okay, great. And then I did but for me, because you're like, just become prepared, I did all the CBTs. And like in the email, it says, know all the flows. Don't even touch the CBTs. We're not going to touch those till a month later. Mind you, this was like 40 hours of like
CBT
works. Then 4 weeks into training, they delete all the history of the CBTs, so I had to redo them. Dude, but I knew my stuff, so that was good.
Yeah, flows, memory items, and limitations are usually the things that they want you to know when you show up.
But if someone just told me that a little earlier, it would have been.
I told you that. You probably somebody said do the CBTs. And
I was like,
the thing is, you got so many people telling you stuff.
Exactly.
That you're like, who do I listen to?
Exactly.
But yeah, flows, memory items, and limitations. Those are like the number one thing because that's what you're gonna be doing in the sim, right?
Yeah.
You're not gonna do systems until you're like.
But yeah, I mean, but it was easy. I mean, the flows, that was no one. The paper tiger took 2 days to learn, and then the limitations and the memory items is like, the memory items for GoJet, because they were so dinosaur age, was like lots, and there was only a couple things really they had to memorize in Spirit, a couple
we just changed some of those too, which kind of throw us off a bit, but they're not much,
No, it's not much.
And it shouldn't be much, right? Can you imagine having to memorize this stuff? And a lot of the times these memory items are stuff that's happening in like a high stress situation, right? So imagine having to like recall something in a high stress situation. It's like, well, do I say thrust or do I say autopilot, or it's like you got to kick it out quick. So it's good that they don't have that. So you finished your OE training already at Spirit?
No, I still have to do it. I finished my first trip I went to Vegas. I did a Burbank turn and then a Boise turn. That was my first experience West Coast flying.
You did Boise?
Boise, yeah.
I haven't done that one yet.
Yeah, it was gorgeous. I mean, because Vegas, and this is the first time, again, I flew out. I saw the Grand Canyon. And then when you're going north, you go from the desert mountains, and then you start seeing the distance, the white caps. And then, they just had that snowstorm. So it started turning white.
Everything was white.
And it was so pretty.
So you did, I'm assuming Fort Lauderdale, Vegas?
No, I didn't. I deadheaded there because I'm a Vegas base for December, so they had me starting out of Vegas at first.
Okay.
And then they had me a Fort Lauderdale trip. No, they had the captain that I was supposed to fly with 2 weeks ago. He got sick. He called out sick, so they canceled my trip. But that was the perfect. I mean, I loved everything. Yeah, I was like, no, but it was Fort Lauderdale, Vegas. Convenient ending in Fort Lauderdale. I was like, perfect. Now they have me. I have to deadhead to Los Angeles to start, and then I end in Vegas, and like, ugh. And then
so you're doing Burbank. So how'd you do that trip? You went from Vegas to Burbank?
Yeah, I went Vegas, Burbank, but the captain landed that one because it's a short runway.
How was that?
That was nuts because that airport is like smaller than Tamiami with like all these jumbo jets on. I'm like, what is this? It's nuts. And he's like, oh yeah, and our gate there, you have to taxi into the runway to taxi into the gate. So like he's like, make sure the controller shuts down the runway so we can taxi in. And I'm like, we're really on the runway.
We did I did the other one, Santa Ana. Is it Santa Ana or?
Well, Santa Ana, yeah, but I haven't flown it. But I
did that one the other day, and that's the captain only too.
Mm-hmm.
That one's I think that one was worse than Burbank. I was coming in there and I'm like,
short.
I gotta land there.
Yeah, I mean the captain did a great job.
It's super easy, but it feels like, it's so small for that airplane.
Oh yeah, you feel.
And the taxiways too. You're like, you feel like you're driving a truck. And
absolutely, yeah. No, I mean my first landing actually went really well. My second one, the flight attendants came in, they weren't happy. and then the third
you planted
one,
it's gonna be a little 319 gonna grow out of that runway.
Exactly. Like I planted it. Because you're so high up, so like 30 feet at it. And the first one, he's like, you overflare just a hair bit, So trying to flatten up.
You didn't flare on that
one. I didn't flare at all. I just boom. He's like, it's okay. It's okay. Check airman was looking at me, making me nervous. He's like, you sure you got this one? I'm like, dude, come on. I don't know. It's my third day. It's my first day.
I would not want that job. I just think about it. Like, can you imagine? Especially like even like now hiring guys with 1,500 hours. Like, can you imagine that your first jet landing with 228 people on board?
I agree. I mean, it's like so.
And you having to be there like, like, okay, let's see what happens.
Yeah. No, I mean, the thing is like I think it's subjective because it depends, right? There's like, for example, Andy, like the guy I flew with. At ATP, he was like Andy, where it was like, you know what, this guy knows his stuff. He came prepared every lesson. Everything was perfect on him. No problems flying the jet, So I think he would be fine. But then it's the guys that like are lazy and not necessarily great on the controls and over controlling. Then you start getting into some trouble. But I think because he just came right into the Airbus and. So I had to unlearn a bunch of stuff too. Like that was another thing that I kept on doing. Like my call outs, especially I was like 1,000 above, they're like 1,000 stable. I'm like, oh. So like it's just like the lingo stuff you had to unlearn, small stuff like that. But he was, I think I would feel if I was checking, I would want him. But then again, like when I was at GoJet, the girl that I was flying with, she came from a Lear and she couldn't do steep turns in the jet. I mean, it was like scary. So
it's just, I don't know why everybody always struggles with steep turns. I think it's like more like a psychological thing,
Well,
like,
she red screened twice when in training.
In the
CRJs. No, not in the steep turns, but in like single engine go around. She got us into a Dutch roll, like too hard on the rudders, and then what was another one? I think it was like. She like landed like it was like check ride prep, and she landed like way down the runway, and still I'm like waiting for her to say go around, because I can't really say anything, but yeah, she just landed, and then we ran out of runway. I'm like, dude, I mean this is bad.
I had a bad experience with my sim partner at Republic. He actually walked out on the the day before the check ride. So we were, I guess you have to listen to your instructor, right? Even if you want to do stuff like one way, or you've been doing it one way forever, you just can't expect to do that the same way. And it's not that his way wasn't working either, right? So I remember we were in the sim, and it was like, we're already over half on the sim. Mm-hmm. We're into my half. This is the day before the check ride. He's trying to figure something out, and he can't figure it out. And like, he's having like this drawing, like he's like, oh, I know, whatever, like really like that attitude of, and I can't remember what happened, but like, we flipped, and he was like being like super lazy on my end, like he was like already checked out, and now I was trying to fly the airplane. I'm waiting for like, we're going around single engine, or we're positive rate, gear up, like you're supposed to say positive rate, like, and it was bad. Like I remember the instructor paused the sim when he was flying, and he's like, we got to get our shit together, because right now only one of us is taking a check ride tomorrow. Yeah. And I'm thinking it's him, because I haven't gotten to fly. Yeah. So I'm like, fuck, now that's going to delay my check ride, because I won't be able to, to fly. Yeah. And he's like, now I'm like, oh, here we go, right? Like, this is going to suck. Mm-hmm. We switch over. We finished the sim, and he literally just walked out. Like, didn't even debrief or anything. Like, he just left.
What'd the company do with him?
I don't know.
You got reassigned to someone else?
So this was October 20. What's Halloween? Halloween is the 31st, right? Yeah. So this is the 29th. Uh-huh. No, the 30th of Halloween. And the next day was my check ride. Mm-hmm. And the check airman is like, the instructor, he's like, you know what? This really sucks, and I feel bad for you. So tomorrow I'm gonna delay trick or treating with my grandsons. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna do C support so that you can fly your check ride. I'm like, thank God.
Right? Yeah. Because he's never gonna miss a call. He's gonna be like with a checklist, So.
And I was like, you answer any of the hard questions, okay?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
How was your interview at Spirit? Actually, I didn't ask that.
The most chill interview I've ever been a part of.
You didn't wear a yellow suit and a yellow socks, did you?
I wore a yellow watch band, so I thought that helped.
I literally seen people like walk in, they're looking like ducks. I'm like, like, dude, you don't have to wear a yellow suit.
Yeah. No, they were very, which I appreciated, which I think it's kind of unnecessary that airlines do. They grill you on regs, and it's just like, well, you've made it this far. I mean, what's what, right? Like, there's no point. Like, I don't think you can differentiate, someone that answers like, some reg correctly. The other guy who maybe didn't have that answer could be definitely a better pilot than the person that knows that answer. You understand?
That's a great point. I really didn't think about it, but you're right. It could be the lucky that the guy studied the thing that he, besides the point, all those questions, all those interviews are all online. Yeah. And it's like, you're just saying, this guy just prepared and read the stuff, but he might not know anything about aviation and only focus on the stuff that's on there. I
forgot about the gouge. Yeah, but they didn't. I mean, I read the gouge and I read everything, but they didn't ask me not one technical question. It was more just, what got you into aviation. I kind of went over the spiel that I just went over with you. Why Spirit? I told them about jump seating and how happy everyone was here. And I'm Fort Lauderdale. Well, I live in Miami. You guys are open to Miami base. Like, it's a perfect fit. And it kind of just was like flowy, kind of those types of questions. And it was over before I knew it. I'm like, that you're gonna ask me anything else? Okay, great, cool. I mean, I hope. I was kind of worried how short it was. I was like, did they just like cut this guy, or like we like this guy? It was like too good. I
remember when I did mine. So I had a friend I have a friend that works at Spirit. He was there he's been there forever. He's pretty senior. And since I was a little kid, I used to hang around with him in the hangar. He used to have an airplane where I learned to fly, and we used to always have like barbecues on the weekends at the flight school and all that. And he was always talking about Spirit, and I'm like, yeah, like that sounds good. I'm down. Like this sounds like I can match with this airline. I can vibrate in the same frequency, whatever. So I'm coming into my interview, right? So I'm sitting in my interview. He calls obviously the chief pilot at the time. He's like, hey, my guy is gonna go in there today. He's got an interview. who he has been hearing about for years, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they've seen each other at boat shows and all this stuff. And we show up in the interview, and there's 2 chief pilots and an HR lady. Everybody has like HR and a chief pilot. I had 2 chief pilots. So I'm like, no, it's not fair. And this is the beginning. I'm like, you're gonna sit here next to me and you answer the hard questions, and that's at the tone of the interview.
Yeah.
You know, like it was like, okay, like, you know, we've been hearing about you since you were like 12 years old. Why do you want to be here? And I kind of, you know, gave him my spiel why I wanted to be there, and that was the end of it. And I can't, you know, I would never go back to that. How do I say this? I regret nothing of that decision. Like, I've been so happy with what I have, and so grateful to be, you know, be able to drive 20 minutes home.
Yeah.
Flying an Airbus.
Yeah. No, it's
with the schedule
the
options
Airbus
that we have.
Yeah, like the quality of life definitely is, you know, something that I thought about for sure, you know, because being in Miami was like American or Spirit really. And, you know, I did talk to a lot of American captains and stuff, and, you know, they're just not really that happy. I mean,
they're gonna have they're working on a contract now, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be interesting to see. But it's also gonna be interesting to see what's gonna happen with us. You know, like we just said, that new is it a TA yet? I guess that's not a TA. It's a agreement in principle that we have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was looking at the numbers, and everybody's like, oh, you know, but they have more money here, they have money, but it's also quality of life, right? For me, the money is not the answer to everything, right? I want to have the time off. I want to be able to have the time to do stuff like this, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be every day working or working Monday through Friday and then having 2 days off during the week, or, you know, not being able to adjust my schedule because I want to go for a week on vacation, right? It's always funny. I told my mom, oh no, I have vacation this week. And she goes, vacation?
Yeah.
What do you mean? You've been vacation for the past month, you know?
I know, exactly, right?
It's like, yeah, no, I got to use my vacation. It's got
Yeah. No, but the thing is Spirit, I mean, even though the pay is a little less, they give you a lot of opportunity to make up for it with that X and Y list that people are always talking about. So
you're talking about a lot of money when you do go, you
exactly,
know, 200%.
So right there, you know, you're going to be.
I fly sometimes with FOs that are on XY list. They're making more than I am.
Yeah.
Because they're on a premium trip. So
Exactly.
There's opportunities to make money.
There's definitely and that's the thing is that there's opportunity for however you want to slice, you know, that cake, you know. So guys that are, I'm sure you're one of the more laid back ones. I'm sure there's guys that are more hard.
Oh, there's guys that are like doing 100 hours a month.
Yeah.
You know,
So
which is fine. It's like you want to work 100 hours a month, go for it. You know,
exactly.
I personally don't.
Yeah, and and what was interesting as well is I was looking into the training department as well. I probably will explore.
Be an instructor.
Yeah, after OE and stuff. I mean, I loved instructing. You know, I thought it was a lot of fun. And you know, with Spirit it'd just be, you know, you're in air conditioning, so it's great. You know, here you got to kind of put up with a little bit of stuff to do it. But,
yeah, the heat is not.
Yeah, but you're in air conditioning. You know, you get to see people pass their check ride, which is always rewarding. And so I thought, and not to mention, you get rewarded like, you know, every 2 weeks instead of every 6 months, because it takes however long for the student. You have to, you know, get the DPE down here. The weather's got to be good. You know, there's all these variables here. It's like weather's. You know,
the weather. What do we want to set the weather to?
Exactly. So it's you know, a lot of turn and burn, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was something I would be interested in doing in the future, but you know, right now it's just OE.
I think the flight training in the airlines is cool. I don't know if I don't know if I would want to be a line check airman, like on the line, but I think the sim would be fun. Just like, I think the sim is cool. The thing for me is like the commute up to Fort Lauderdale. It's like, I don't know if I want to drive up there.
Well, you know, you can choose your days. You know, you just it's kind of like with anything. You know, you could do half of the month flying, half the month.
But I don't know if you know Camilo. You know Camilo?
No.
He did his training with us here as well when he was coming from Colombia. He was flying the Airbus over there. He's also an instructor now. He loves it.
Yeah.
Like he's super sharp too. Super sharp guy. Still flies GA. When was the last time you got on a GA airplane, by the way?
It's been a while, man. But it's been tough because I've been on that, you know, with not flying, you get that minimum. So, like, if you're trying to save and everything, it's kind of like, especially in Miami, the times right now, it's like things are tight, man. So, So you go now to, you're still in training pay, right? Until you get
Because our contract now is training pay until you get on the line.
Until you get on the line, or 90 days. So 90 days is tomorrow.
90 days is in 16 hours.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's been, I mean, dude, the training pay is like, yeah, it's
not much.
It's nothing. So it's.
But they are changing it now with the new OTA. They went up a little bit, I think.
No, it's still, it's $800 biweekly. So.
I thought it was $1,500 biweekly.
Maybe maybe that changed, but no, it's $800.
I thought it was the beginning begins effective in January 1st if it gets ratified, but it's $1,500 biweekly for a full time.
Yeah, if that, I mean, that's
or
makes
maybe
it a
it's
little better.
monthly. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways,
it's a struggle you got to put up with.
Yeah, it's something you got to put up with. I mean, at the end of the day, it's temporary, right? So I'm lucky that I have the support group around me, you know.
And the money that they spend to train
exactly,
you, and all that,
you know, so
it kind of balances out.
It's okay, and you know, I'm getting here now with this contract. I mean, like the timing couldn't have been better, right? Like getting released right when the contract is about to drop. I mean, if it goes through, but yeah, I mean, that's like.
I remember it's the same experience I had when I was at Republic. When I first got out of Republic, I was in St. Louis still. I don't know if I was in St. Louis or I was in their headquarters, but we got the notification that we had ratified our contract, and it was a $40 an hour pay for FO.
Mm-hmm.
This was the first airline to like push 40 hours. But the guys were getting paid $20 an hour to fly a regional airplane, and Republic came out and said $40 an hour for your starting pay. So you can imagine everybody was freaking like, you know, it's like that SpongeBob scene where like everybody's burning files, you know. We were so happy because now we just became like the best paid regional pilots, and we were 100% over everybody else because we were making twice as much as them. So it was really exciting, and it was just perfect timing because nobody wanted to go there because it was so little. And now everybody is, everybody wanted to go there. So now my seniority went like boom, because everybody was just, please let me in.
And regional guys now are like that 40 an hour. It's like, you guys, I'm not going to interview with you guys. You know, like that's crazy. Like Tropic Air is paying over there.
It's crazy, but I mean, you know, when I started at Spirit, it was $38.50.
Yeah, that was good timing for you as well.
To be a first officer, it was $38.50.
Yeah, you hit good timing on both your companies that you selected.
And then, you know, I had the full year of $38.50, and then I got on at, you know, $72 an hour for second year FO. Mm-hmm. And then we got our new contract, then I got that pay raise. I think it was like 114 now or something like that. But it was different, you know. So it kind of happened the same thing that you happened. It's kind of funny seeing you follow that train track. But anyways, man, I'm really glad that you came, and you know, it's really enjoyable for me to see you grow from being a pilot, you know, a baby pilot, right? You know, like I have in my office there, the monkey, the monkey,
taxi on the runway.
And now to see, you know, to see you going up to, you know, being a co-pilot with me, hopefully soon, and then someday, you know, you'll be a captain at Spirit. So it's really nice. It's really rewarding. Everybody always asks me like, oh, you know, it must suck to see the guys leave at 1,500 hours. I'm like, no, I think it's awesome. Like it's, you know, we get new people all the time, and then to see you guys go out, and you know, I ran into Tommy. You were flying here with Tommy? Was here?
His last name's
Tommy Slav.
Slav, for short.
Yeah.
yeah. He last time because I came to visit actually with Chris and Alicia was still here. Mm-hmm. You weren't here. Juan saw me. He was on his way out. You know, he was. So
I ran into him the other day at Miami. Fernando, you know, he's flying in the airlines.
They're happy at
Chris,
Envoy. I mean, they love it there. Yeah, so it's all good for them.
So it's just cool to see like everybody, you know, growing and seeing them move on. But again, thanks for coming out and sharing your experience.
Absolutely,
and
dude.
I can't wait to go see you flying with you soon.
Yeah, man.
We hope you've enjoyed the show. For more of our content, search on YouTube for Aviator Zone. If you know someone we should have on the show, please reach out at podcast@aviator.zone.